Good day and assalamualaikum. So today we were going to talk about the war that has happened in Zamboanga. So the Zamboanga War, more accurately called the Zamboanga Siege or Zamboanga Crisis, was a major armed conflict that occurred in September 2013 in Zamboanga City, located in southern Philippines. It involved a faction of the Moro National Liberation Front, or also known as the MNLF, and the Armed Forces of the Philippines. So the MNLF is a Muslim separatist group founded in the 1970s aiming for independence or greater autonomy for the Moro people in Mindanao. So in 1996, the MNLF signed a peace agreement with the Philippine government, but many issues remain unresolved. So a faction of the MNLF loyal to founder Norm Miswari felt that the government had failed to implement the peace deal fully. So on September 9, 2013 at around 4:30 a.m., the MNLF entered the city and killed 4 people, contrary to the first report of having 6 people killed. 4 barangays were occupied by the MNLF: Rio Hondo, Santa Barbara, Santa Catalina, and parts of Talon-Talon. The group held 20 civilians hostages in Barangay Santa Catalina, and around noontime more than 200 civilians were reported as being held hostage by the MNLF. So the civilian hostages were being used as human shields by the MNLF. So the city government of Zamboanga declared a no classes and no work following the attack at Barangay Santa Catalina. A curfew was later imposed throughout the city that day, virtually shutting down the city. Zamboanga City Mayor Isabel Beng Climaco Salazar later visited the people who fled to different evacuation centers that morning. So the Zamboanga City Hall, where the MNLF intended to hoist the Bangsamoro Republic flag on the second day, the Philippines government deployed a larger force in the city. A naval blockade was set and more troops and units were deployed, including 4 units of elite troops from the Naval Special Operation Group. So the mayor of the city finally contacted Norm Miswari through telephones on Thursday. Mayor Climaco asked Miswari to call off the attack, but Miswari claimed that he has no hand at the situation and distanced himself from the commander Javier Malik and his follower actions. This contradicts to what MNLF spokesman Emmanuel Fontanella said earlier. The spokesman said that Miswari was leading the MNLF militants in Zamboanga City. So the Philippines government issued an ultimatum to the MNLF militants in Zamboanga, saying that the government will not hesitate to use force to resolve the situation in Zamboanga City. While the government is exhausting all avenues for peaceful resolution of the situation, let it be clear for those defying us that they should not entertain the illusions that the states will hesitate to use its forces to protect our people. Presidential spokesperson Edwin Lucierda said in a statement. So the Vice President of the Philippines had spoken by telephone to Norm Miswari and they agreed on a ceasefire. Norm Miswari's spokesperson Rib Absalom Sir Veza said that the current situation in Zamboanga City is a war of independence and denied that the MNLF came to Zamboanga for peace caravan. If you win in the war, you will gain your independence. So it happens MNLF followed this track to gain its independence, he said. The spokesman also denied earlier reports that Miswari disowned Commander Javier Malik. Plans for a ceasefire failed. MNLF sniper were captured. So what is behind the fighting? So ang mga Muslim sa katimugang bahagi ng Pilipinas ay tinatawag bilang mga Moro, isang katawagang mula sa panahon ng kolonisasyon. Sila ay may matagal ng kasaysayan sa pakikibaka laban sa sentral na pamahalaan. Una laban sa mga mananakop na Kastila, sumunod sa mga Amerikano at kalaunan laban sa mismong pamahalaang Pilipino. Ang kanilang layunin ay magkaroon ng sariling pamahalaan at pagkilala bilang hiwalay na natatanging grupo ng mga mamamayan na may sariling kultura, relihiyon Islam at teritoryo. So isa sa mga pinakaunang makabagong kilusang Moro ay ang Moro National Liberation Front or MNLF na itinatag noong 1970. Ang grupo ay nakabase sa Sulu Archipelago, isang pangkat ng mga isla sa timog kanluran ng Zamboanga. Layunin ng MNLF na magkaroon ng isang malayang estado para sa mga Moro na tinatawag nilang Bangsamoro Republic. Noong 1970, lumitaw si Normie Suarez bilang pangunahing leader ng MNLF. Siya ay isang tagapagsalita ng adhikain ng mga Moro sa pandaigdigang entablado. Kinilala siya ng mga bansang Islamiko sa pamamagitan ng Organization of Islamic Cooperation bilang lehitimong kinatawan ng Muslim sa Mindanao. So sa panahong iyon, si Misuari ang naging mukha ng Moro struggle para sa kalayaan at kasarinlan. Ngunit hindi nagtagal, nagkaroon ng panloob na sigalot sa loob ng MNLF noong 1978. Ang unang malaking dagok sa pamumuno ni Misuari ay naganap ng may mga miyembro ng MNLF na humiwalay at nagtatag ng bagong grupo, ang Moro Islamic Liberation Front o MILF. Ang MILF ay binuo ng mga leader na may mas radikal na pananaw at mas konserbatibong pananampalatayang Islam na hindi sang-ayon sa mga taktika at estilo ng pamumuno ni Misuari. So habang si Misuari at ang MNLF ay nakipagkasundo sa pamahalaan ng Pilipinas sa pamamagitan ng Final Peace Agreement noong 1996, naramdaman ng ilang Moro leaders na hindi sapat ang kasunduang ito para sa tunay na kalayaan at kaunlaran ng Bangsamoro. Dahil dito, lalo pang lumakas ang MILF bilang alternatibong boses ng mga Moro sa usaping pangkapayapaan. Mula noon, unti-unting humina ang impluwensya ni Misuari sa politika ng Bangsamoro. Bagamat siya ay naging gobernador ng Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, pagkatapos ng peace agreement, maraming kritiko ang nagsabing hindi niya nagampanan ng maayos ang kanyang tungkulin. Kalaunan, nasangkot pa siya sa mga insidente ng karahasan gaya ng Zamboanga Siege noong 2013, kung saan ang ilang natitirang taga-suporta niya sa MNLF ay naglunsad ng pag-alsa sa lungsod. Misuari refused to negotiate with the government, so then President Fidel Ramos turned to Normie Suarez to negotiate the landmark 1996 peace agreement, creating the Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, which was intended to be a precursor to a more permanent autonomy deal. But the conflict stemmed from the MNLF dissatisfaction with the government implementations of the 1996 peace agreement. Misuari was criticized for poor leadership and corruption, but his supporters blamed the government, saying it didn't provide enough money or support to make the arm work. Eventually, Misuari was voted out as MNLF chairman. So the Zamboanga Siege was a tragic event fueled by frustration over unfulfilled peace agreement and competing moral political agendas. While it ended the MNLF military relevance in the region, it also exposed deep-seated issues like poverty, displacements, and lack of trust. Its aftermath continues to influence the path of the peace development in Mindanao today.
So what are the aftermath and consequences? So first is the humanitarian crisis. Maraming pamilya ang napilitang lumikas at napuno ang mga evacuation centers dahil dito nagkasiksikan at may hindi maayos na sanitation. Nagkaroon ng mga outbreak ng sakit gaya ng diarrhea at respiratory infections. Tumulong ang International Organization for Migration or IOM at iba pang UN agencies sa relief operation. Pangalawa ay ang rehabilitation and reconstructions o pagbangon at pagpapatayo muli. Naglunsod ang gobyerno ng Zamboanga City ng roadmap to recover and reconstruct. Kasama rito ang muling pagtayo ng mga bahay, paaralan at infrastruktura. Pero nagkaroon ng delay, mga issues sa corruption at problema sa pag-aari ng lupa. Marami pa rin pamilya ang nanatili sa temporary shelters na ito ng ilang taon. Pangatlo ay ang legal and political repercussions or legal at political na epekto. Naglabas ng arrest warrant para kay Normie Suarez at iba pang membro ng MNLF dahil sa rebellion, terorismo at illegal detention. Nagtago si Misuari sa simula, nagtago siya sa simula pero muling lumitaw pagkalipas ng ilang taon at inimbitahan ni Pangulong Duterte sa peace talk. At dahil dito nagkaroon ng mga long-term impact katulad ng shift in peace process o pagbabago sa usaping pangkapayapaan. Mas nakipag-focus ang gobyerno sa MILF at nagtapos ito sa Comprehensive Agreement on the Bangsamoro or CAB noong 2014. Dahil dito ipinasa ang Bangsamoro Organic Law or BUL noong 2018 at nabuo ang Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao or kilala natin ngayon bilang BARM noong 2019. Pangalawa ay ang weakened MNLF influence o humina ang impluensya ng MNLF. Nasira ang reputasyon ng grupo ni Ms. Suarez na mata ng maraming Pilipino dahil sa Zamboanga Siege. May ilang MNLF group na nagsimulang makipag-reconcile at gustong makipagbahagi ng BARM gustong maging bahagi ng BARM framework. Pangatlo ay ang urban resilience and security changes, pagbabago sa seguridad at tibay ng lungsod. Pinaigting ng Zamboanga City ang seguridad, mas dumami ang military at police presence at madalas binabanggit ang Zamboanga Siege sa mga national security plan bilang leksyon sa urban insurgency at counterterrorism. So, in conclusion, ang Zamboanga Siege ng 2013 ay isa sa pinakamapaninsalang urban conflict sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas. Nagsimula ito dahil sa political frustration at hindi pagkakaintindihan sa peace process. Nagdulot ito ng matinding pinsala at pagdurusa, pero naging daan rin ito sa mga reforma, kabilang ang pagkakatatag ng BARM na mas inclusive at structured ang autonomy para sa Mindanao. Sa kabila nito, nananatiling sugat sa kasaysayan ang Zamboanga Siege at paalala sa komplikadong laban para sa sariling pamamahala ng mga Moro.